How you doing, everybody? My name is Dean Olson. I am a songwriter and radio producer from Orange County, California, and I'm really just an average man who loves to make music. However, when I get behind a microphone, I become the StrongWriter on the radio, helping songwriters and artists keep musically fit. The way I love to do that is through faith and hope and encouragement, by taking in the stories and experiences told to me by my wonderful guests, and by learning from the best in the business and passing it along to you. And now I want to welcome you to a wonderful day, another beautiful day for a fantastic show, and the return of a young lady who came on my show as a guest last December to tell me about her debut single that went viral called Lonely Christmas. That was a very big success for WALLIS SCHRIVER, who you are seeing on the screen with me right now. Her father, Gene Schreiber, is maybe going to be part of this interview. He's also part of the family project, having collaborated with her on that Christmas single. And now WALLIS has a follow-up single called Another Day, featuring her younger sisters, Maren and Soleil. So now that song was released 2 months ago, June 25th. And I thought perhaps we could all get a status update. So it is my pleasure to welcome back to the program, the one, the only, WALLIS.
Thank you so much for having me.
How you doing there?
I'm doing pretty well.
Where are you right now? Are you in your home over in Philly or something like that? You're in Pennsylvania? It is very nice to have you back on my show now that you've become a huge teenage pop music megastar. So that's nice. I always wanted that to happen. You made that. Well, anyway, how's things since I last talked to you? It was December when you had just released that and got a lot of hits on YouTube and became kind of a sensation in your own little world there. How is things? How are things?
I mean, a lot has gone on since Lonely Christmas. That was quite a whirlwind of an experience in itself. But then after we released Lonely Christmas, a new song was in high demand, and everyone was asking, when are you going to put out your new song? When are we going to get more music? So at the time, I was in Miami with my family because we had planned that a little while back. And, we were staying in this little house that we were trying to stay, pretty far away from other people because, again, COVID was still very prevalent at the time. And we were like, how are we going to record the song? Because we're in Miami. We didn't have our typical home setup. I mean, we brought a few pieces of equipment with us, like a little MIDI keyboard, and we had my dad's computer and a microphone with us. And we essentially worked on the song a little bit using that MIDI keyboard. Oh, when I say the song, I'm talking about Another Day, which was my follow-up single to Lonely Christmas.
Okay.
And anyway, we worked on Another Day in this house that we had rented for our short stay at Miami. And then my dad was like, we don't have enough materials to complete the song how we want it to be. So he called up Criteria Recording Studios in Miami, and he basically explained our situation to them. And they were very, what's the word I'm looking for? They were very accommodating to what we had told them. And they provided us with really great session musicians. And I got to sing in these really incredible rooms. And it was, for us, it was like going to Disney World, because that's what we look forward to. We love music. It's us going there was like a little kid going to Disney World. And it really made our stay there really incredible because, I'd always dreamed of recording in such a cool place. And there had been so many legends that recorded there. For example, we recorded in a room that the Bee Gees recorded in. And in one of my interviews about Lonely Christmas, they had asked me if I watched the Bee Gees documentary, and I said no at the time. And then my family and I watched the Bee Gees documentary all together, and we ended up recording in the same room that they recorded in. And it was just this sort of crazy cosmic experience, it felt like. And there were these little dots that were connecting where we're like, this is crazy, like 3 siblings there's 3 of us. And it was talking a lot about the blend of sibling harmonies. And so I had a lot of fun writing the harmonies and working on the harmonies with my sisters, especially after watching that all together. We were like, this is so crazy. And we're so lucky and blessed that we get to share this. And also, like, watching that movie, we could relate to so much of what they were saying. And it was just very an interesting experience. But in that process, one of the people that we were recording with, there was an assistant engineer who said he had a fever. So we were like, oh my gosh, we all need to be tested. We need to make sure everyone's okay. Because we wore masks the whole time. And it was really just my family, the one engineer, Carlos Alvarez, and then the assistant engineer, mainly in the studio the whole time. And then we had like 3 session musicians. And that was really it. And we all stayed masked and generally distanced the whole time. But, we wanted to do the right thing and stay safe. So we all got to, and luckily none of us tested positive, but that halted the process because we didn't want to go back in, like, risking it, especially since we weren't at our home. So we didn't want to be spreading it if we, had a false negative or, anyway. So then we ended up coming back home. It was a very long process recording another day, but we ended up coming back home and we worked on finishing the song with my dad and myself and Cody Sichowski, who was the musical engineer who helped us with Lonely Christmas. So that is sort of the long story of how Another Day came to be.
Wow. Let me get a word in edgewise here, Wallace. This is great. I appreciate that. No, you said a lot of things there. I didn't really want to interrupt because you were telling such a great story about this. You gave me a good picture of what happened down there in Miami that day or that weekend or week or however long you were there. How long were you down in Miami doing all this? This was combined. You did those 2 songs all on that one trip, right?
Well, no, we had put out Lonely Christmas before this trip. And then right as Lonely Christmas was starting to gain views and popularity, and I started doing some more interviews, that's when
then you went
left. So it was a very crazy time. And I was doing a lot of interviews while I was on the trip. And it was all very new to me at the time as well. So, I was still trying to navigate all of that. And then on top of that, everyone was like, when's this new song coming out? So, then that
was an interesting footnote, what you mentioned about when the guy had a fever. Any other year than 2020, this wouldn't, it wouldn't even phase you. Say, oh my gosh, you're sick. You need to go home. We can handle it from here. But then now you're going like, oh no, he's sick or something's wrong. So yeah, that is kind of a sort of a little wrinkle in the story there. So glad everybody's okay. I hope,
Me too.
Hope that's the outcome of the story, that everybody's fine and we and all this. So that is nice. And the thing you mentioned about the sibling harmonies, that's another thing I don't think about that too often, but that is interesting because you and your sisters all can sing, and that's a great thing because it doesn't always work out that way. You might have like one of your sisters could be like off, and then like, oh no, only 2 of us can sing, but all 3 of you sing in great harmonies. So sibling harmonies are a great dynamic because they you all sound different, but you have the same family quality, and that's what you were mentioning with the Bee Gees. They're the same way,
Right.
They put out. I've heard them all sing separately, and it's just interesting when they all come together. It's a whole different story. So
yeah,
great.
Most definitely.
Yeah, great that you had a good time. I mean, I can relate to that. Anybody that's into music will jump at the chance and will be so thrilled when they get to do an experience like that, go into a place that has history.
Totally.
Yeah. And there are places, even musicians I know who are pros and have gone to different studios, they're even surprised because there's so many of these little studios that just happened that you would never have heard of them. And then you find out that so many legends have performed there, have recorded there, and session musicians. Oh my gosh. I think you said some of these people that you were able to acquire as session musicians worked for Ray Charles, for the Bee Gees.
Oh yeah.
For who else were some of them?
Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Right. The drummer, right? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trumpet. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The horn section with all these people. So It was a fresh production, nice harmonies from you. This is always something that you like to do with your dad, right? You like to co-write songs.
Yeah.
So it was just the two of you, and then later on you decide to bring your sisters in to do something, or did they have part of that process too? Did you have to work out that arrangement too, like the vocal arrangements?
Typically my dad and I work on piecing together the song and writing the harmonies together. And then once we have the harmonies figured out, we bring them in. And sometimes as we're singing together, we, change things to adjust to our voices and arrange it, what blends best. But mainly we bring them in once we finish the song, and then we just add whatever else they can add. And also they're young, so they're working on their own writing abilities. Like my youngest sister, Soleil, she sits at the keyboard all the time and she just plays by ear and writes things all the time. And she's really, really talented. And I'm excited to see how that evolves as she matures and gets older.
That's great to hear. Yeah, I'm glad that everybody gets along. It's nice to have them. Lonely Christmas didn't have, they were in the video, but they didn't sing on the recording with you, right? That was all you.
No, they were singing harmonies.
Oh, they were singing harmonies? Okay, so good. They don't mind backing up their big sister as she puts her name out there in front, and it's basically you. But it's nice that you're putting them like right by your side all the time, so we all know who they are. So it's not like you're keeping them in the background and it's all me, Wallace. It's it's all of you doing this. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I want to include them because I think they enhance anything that I have. I mean, with them, it just makes it that much better, And I think Soleil, especially as she gets older, she has a real passion for music as well. So I think she will, she's not, it's not just the background, it's like any harmony is going to enhance the song or change the song. And I don't know, I'm excited to see what she has to offer, and maybe I'll be singing harmonies for her, or we only have put out 2 songs so far, so you never know.
Yeah, somewhere I have a paper here that shows your ages on, but I can't find. How old are your 2 sisters right
Soleil
now?
is old, Maren is 13, and I'm 16.
You're 16. Okay, yeah, you were 15 when you made that Lonely Christmas, right? And then so. And you'll be 17 very soon, right? Am I wrong, or isn't your birthday coming up like in a month or 2?
No, my birthday is in February.
Oh, okay. I missed. Okay, I'm thinking of somebody else. I apologize. I thought it was September or October. Okay, my fault.
No, it's okay.
Well, when you get old, you don't remember things as well. Sorry about that. Very smart of you to create that Christmas song early on, because in a couple months you can share it all over again. That's nice to have. No matter what you put on, you can still say, okay, and remember, here we have that Christmas song I did a long time ago, Lonely Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty soon, you expecting that pretty soon down the line, you're going to start making an EP, an album of more songs?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, my dad and I are currently working on a couple songs that we'll be putting out, I assume, one by one. And then eventually we'll formulate an EP or an album, but we're working on some new musical content to put out soon.
I want to see if there's anything here. I was going to spend some time talking about your time down there in Miami, but did the whole family go down? Mom, everybody go down there?
Yep.
and made it sort of a mini vacation / work thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It was my dad, my sisters, and my mom, my whole immediate family.
And you didn't do anything else beside that? I mean, other than, go eat dinner and all that other stuff. You didn't do any other fun activities while you were down there? It was just the music?
We didn't really leave where we were staying very much because of COVID. I mean, we got to be outside in the sun, and we have like best friends that stay in Miami who, were in quarantine with us. But other than that, we didn't really see anyone because we wanted to be safe. Yeah.
Do you ever anticipate that you might do some, on stage shows doing your music, your 2 songs, and then maybe other things like some of your favorite music that you like to sing?
Oops, sorry. My
it's
screen
okay. No problem. At least you're aware of that. I was going to say, then you'll disappear, and then all we hear is you talking. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do some live shows, hopefully this fall, depending on, the state of COVID and all of that.
Yeah, well, that would be nice. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'll try to keep everyone updated on my live performance schedule if that ends up happening.
For those who don't really, they didn't see the last interview and they're really not that familiar. You started at a very young age with your sisters, as well. But did you actually start your musical journey with them, the three of you singing, or did you do any because I know that you were at that one of those theaters over in Philadelphia. I can't remember what it was called, the something Street Theater.
Yeah, Walnut Street Theater.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was in a show there when I was 12. It was Annie. That was my first professional theater show.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Growing up, I did a lot of choir and community theater, and then I got a little bit more into cabarets and professional theater as I got a bit older and had a little bit more experience. And I also did dance. I did all of the musical theater kid dance.
What kind of dancing can you do? They do all kinds of different kinds of dance, tap.
Well, I haven't been in consistent dance classes since I was a bit younger, but I'm hoping to get back into dance this year. I mean, I did hip hop, jazz. I did all sorts of things that they had to offer.
Probably could help you with the stage presence. Sure. It inspires you to do your own moves and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Did you do Matilda the musical, something like that? I heard.
My sister Maren did Matilda the musical.
Oh, you just her? Oh, okay, I thought you did. Oh gosh.
Maren did, but she did a great job.
Yeah, we didn't talk much about Maren. So Maren's the middle child. She probably hates being called that. I don't know if everybody's. So every threesome of sisters, I always heard that the middle sister always is the one that either the most special or the most left out. Who knows? I don't really get that vibe with all of you. Just when I see pictures, you all seem very close-knit family, and it's almost too good to be true. It's very nice to see the whole family get into it, and you don't see anything of mom. Mom sort of keeps is the glue that holds all this together, I'll bet.
I know. I was just thinking about this the other day. I was like, we're doing this interview with my dad and my sisters, and I mean, we are doing the music together. And my mom, she doesn't like sing or write music, but my mom is just as much a part of this as we are, because we could not do this without my mom. She's the one that is our emotional support, and she brings us places, and she does so much for us all the time that she deserves that recognition too.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that everybody understands I'm pro mom. I want to make sure that always mom deserves a big gold star, because even though she's kind of the unseen face of the WALLIS experience, she's the one that even dad looks to her, I bet, what do you think? Does he ever run ideas by her and say, what do you think? Or does she?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've run songs by her. We run all sorts of ideas by her. Like when we were writing Another Day, we would come home after, recording something new, or even just like in our house, we'll come up with something and we'll play it for her, and she'll be like, I liked it better the other way. And then we're like, okay, well, and
sounds like my wife. I can relate to that. That's a good.
Or she'll be like, I love it. Or she'll be like, that's great. Or Yeah.
No, I'm glad that she. I really am glad that she is. That I think that's her place. I think that's beautiful that she is the one in the family who isn't the one that is so musical like all of the other four in the family. So that really is good, because that's a very important part that she's playing. I think it's you need her that way.
No, she does a great job of being our cheerleader and dancing to our songs and doing all of those types of things. I mean, that's very necessary too. And
when you put away all the instruments, it's maybe it's later on during the day, you're having family time, you're at the dinner table or something like that. Mm-hmm. You just talk about other stuff, right? Or all of a sudden something will hit you where you want to sing something, or you want to, I got an idea. Do you ever break into daily activities and say, oh, I got something. We need to talk about this idea that I have for a song or whatever. Does that ever hit you?
Yeah, no, I mean, that definitely happens sometimes. I mean, we are like any normal family. I mean, we just, we do normal family things, but sometimes my dad will be like, oh, Wallace, like come down into the studio room. And we'll record something, which by the way, the studio room was just a little bedroom in my house that has like a desk and our MIDI keyboards, but, he'll be like, come down. And I just like found this cool effect. Like I went down yesterday and he had an electric guitar and he was like using all these cool effects and we were just having fun listening to all the different treatments of the guitar and getting excited about how we can use that. And yeah, that kind of stuff happens all the time.
When you went down to that, what was it called? Criterion Studios over in Miami, did they have a lot of instruments for you to sample and like pick up and touch and play with and, anything like that? Or did the musicians that came in, were they the ones to touch the instruments and play for you?
They brought their own instruments and they used those. I mean, I think the studios were mainly pretty empty again because of COVID. They were not being used as much as usual.
Yeah.
But yeah, there weren't too many instruments, but there were just these really, really cool rooms with so many buttons, like massive panels. It looks like you're walking into like NASA. And yeah. And just with these like big or like just cool speakers, big open glass so you can see through it, which I always thought was really cool because I'm used to either recording in just a bedroom or with like a teeny tiny window that I can look through. But it was really cool.
Yeah. One thing I forgot to ask you, because you were describing how you were in that house and you were trying to get some things, and then you went to the studio. Was part of the song done in that house and part at the studio, or did you do everything at that studio?
Oh, we actually had the beginnings of the song started at home. And we brought that. I'm sorry, my dad just walked in and
you brought the recordings with you and to the place. And okay. Sounds great. Good. Okay. So dad's interrupting. No, he's not. I'm just kidding.
I looked over and I was like, what was I saying?
Totally up to him if he wants to come in. That just to peek his head in. He did that last time, and that was nice. Anyway, no, that was nice. I really am interested to hear stories about when people go into a studio and what they were able to accomplish, and did they have a good experience, and that's good. Yeah, it's a lot of work that goes into that, isn't it? You see them doing all the work as you get to have all the fun creating it and singing it. I have seen some of these bands where they get in there and they have the, how we were talking about you working on the vocals and then working on the song. And because I've seen other ones where they have a horn section going over here, and it's almost like they have like a mini orchestra. Everybody has a little section that they have to work on, and then let's all do it. So did when you finally recorded everything, did you do it all in one room, or did they track some of those musicians before you Maren and Soleil did the vocals?
We did it pretty much all in one room. I went like, I think maybe 2 or 3 days in total. And the first day I was in one room that was made for just vocals, which was really, really cool. And then the second time that we went in the room that the Bee Gees recorded in, and that's when we recorded the horns and the bass. And then more vocals in that room too. So we mainly recorded everything in the same room.
You and your sisters go into like a little box together, and then it's very quiet in there, and you put your headphones on and all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
quiet room with a lot of, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm worried that my phone is going to die. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't want that to happen. Did you unplug that so you could make it stand up like that?
Yeah, no, I know. I'm having so many technical difficulties today. I apologize. I get to have this lovely view of our speaker right here. Oh my God.
That's okay. I'm all about that. Yeah.
Okay.
You get a better view of those little hanging instruments that you have over there.
All right. There we go.
Cool. There we go.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Could you repeat the question?
I don't know. I don't even remember what it was. No, the question was just, the experience of you getting in that, doing the vocals. Was it anything, did it seem any different than when you do it at home or,
I mean, generally microphones are very good nowadays. Like they have just done a very good job of figuring out how to get a clean microphone sound that you can just buy.
Yeah. Well, they have USB ones now that you can buy for very cheap, and they still sound good.
Yeah.
This one I'm talking to, I bought this over 20 years ago, and I paid.
Oh wow!
I didn't pay $99 for it. It was a lot more than that. Nowadays, you can get the even better quality sound out of these cheaper ones. I saw one at Best Buy that was, it was actually very cool looking. I was almost considering getting it because it's like, wow, the technology has improved, for a cheaper price, So anyway, it's just fun because I figured that, when you go down to a place, when you start into a studio where they have all the capabilities to make it sound, really punch it up and make it sound like you hear a song on the radio, time is money. You want to make sure and there's a budget involved. So you want to make sure you get your act together and do that stuff. So you don't have to do take after take and have to, we can't come back tomorrow and do it. Right. It's like, you got to be on the point and do it.
Yeah. And I think since I grew up doing a lot of musical theater and live performances, I've gotten used to just, because, when you're doing live performances, you got to nail it on your first try. So I grew up training to do that. So I think now that I get to record until I get it perfect, it makes me definitely more nitpicky of myself, but I feel like generally speaking, it doesn't take too long to get the right take. I just gotta practice in my time before I get in there. So that way I'm not spending too much time in the studio. But I feel like generally we're good at being efficient with vocals. It
does sound like one of those obvious questions, but because you've trained, so you have that kind of a muscle memory, for lack of a better term. But it's like shooting baskets. One thing that some of these the viewers, the listeners are going to they're going to notice about you is you're very articulate and you sound very intelligent. If I remember right, you and your sister's very good students, right? In school, you keep your grades up and everything.
Yeah, my sister's both very smart. We're going back to school soon. Yay. But yeah, generally speaking, I feel like we all do a very good job academically as long as we're putting in the effort necessary. And I
think that's the one thing I remember is that it's very good of your family. You have good priorities. What's important. Do you have goals after you graduate, and become, a young adult? Do you have some sort of vision of what you're going to be doing? Will it be music or will it be some other things?
I think music will be involved in my life one way or another. I can't see my life without it just because it's been, my life has revolved around music in one way or another since I was a kid. So
before 12, right? Because you said 12, but it goes back even farther. Were you doing something younger than that?
That was when I really started doing like larger scale theater productions, but my experience with music in general, I'm sure like most kids growing up listening to music, but like I grew up with a lot of musicians in my household. Like my dad's friends were musicians. My parents were just friends with a lot of musicians. So we got to have these jam sessions in my living room, and they would bring their instruments and bring their entire drum set and then like leave it in our house for a couple of days. And then we play with that. And then,
cool.
This was a very active part of my childhood. And it really helped me to grow a love for music even more. And since my dad is such a talented writer, even though he never got formal music training, that has helped to fuel my love for music as well, because that's a passion that we share together. And then my sister's being so talented, I feel so lucky about that. That also fuels my love.
What could be a more beautiful thing? I'm glad that this is your life, and I hope it continues, because once you have this love, you really don't want it to stop. It's just part of your your passion for music has got to stay in you, and before when we last talked, you didn't even really have a website going, but you've managed to secure that name. I am Wallis, in everything that you're doing. So it's your YouTube channel, it's your Instagram, it's your I think your Facebook is the same thing, and so that's good. And you probably need that because there are other Wallises out there that will come up in a search. So it's good that you have something that you can go to. Yeah. So what I did was I wanted to see what see if you had a video for Another Day, and I don't know if that's something that you may be working on, but all I saw were audio clips, so, and they sound great too, and they have the cool photography. You did a little photo shoot with your sisters, and that's always nice. And they have the same that same very resting face, if you know what I'm saying. That nobody's like big smiles and teeth and everything. It's just that same. That seems to be your look. You wouldn't be the first. I've had about a handful, maybe about half a dozen teenage singers, and a couple of them are just like you, where they all their everything is mouth closed and very serious. And then I'm shocked when I see them smiling and laughing and having a good time on the interview. I says, are you sure you're the same person in those photos?
I'm much angstier in my music and pictures than I am in real life.
maybe that's the your preferred persona. You want to have that image.
I don't even know if it was entirely intentional. But
well, since we're talking about that song, tell me a little bit about that, because you and your dad, what were the beginnings of that when you had the first idea to make this? I mean, was it because people were asking for that second song, or did you already have this in mind before anybody said anything about that?
Well, we sort of have this large pool of half-baked songs because my dad has started, since he's been writing music for a little while, he has a lot of songs that he started and has not finished. And now that I'm, now that we have done Lonely Christmas, we're looking back at that arrangement of songs that he has started to write, and we're going back and writing them and finishing them together. Mm-hmm. So Another Day started like that. And we basically just looked through everything that we had started writing together already. And we're like, okay, what do we think is the closest to being done? What do we think will be the best thing to release next? And we thought that we could finish that and be happy with it sooner than any of our other songs. So then we went to the microphone, and my dad was like, okay, why don't you just sing something over this? And I was like, okay, can you give me a line? Like, can you give me some lyrics? And then he was like, okay, pennies in my pocket, got holes in my pants, white shoes, denim blues, I just want to dance. He just came up with that on the fly. And I was like, okay, sure. And so I just sang that, and then we ended up keeping it. And then we wrote the rest of the song together sort of around that, because we're like, okay, that's a fun line. Why not? This is like a dance song. It's lighthearted. Uh-huh. And then we wrote the verses, and they're a little bit more about these like anxieties and things that it's easy for me to dwell on. And then it picks up again in the chorus when it says, I'm dancing through another day, and that was sort of like similarly to Lonely Christmas, like that's sort of what I've learned throughout this whole quarantine and being a teenager and talking to my dad and talking to my family members about it. It's like, I'm going to have some hard times in my life, like everyone has hard times. But I can choose to be optimistic, and I can choose to dance through my day, even though, the current state of the world might be overwhelming. Like when you never know.
When your life is full of danger and you're feeling like a stranger, when you say goodbye to someone, I remember I've got some pennies in my pocket, got holes in my pants, white shoes, denim blues, I just wanna dance. Pennies in my pocket, got holes in my pants, white shoes, denim blues, I just wanna dance. I'm spinning on this axis, wanna dance. Panties in my pocket, got holes in my pants. White shoes, denim blues, I just wanna dance. Panties in my pocket, got holes in my pants. White shoes, denim blues, I just wanna dance. When your life is full of danger, when you're feeling like a stranger, when you say goodbye to someone. White shoes, denim blues, I just wanna dance. When your life is full of danger, when you're feeling like a stranger, when you say goodbye to someone. I'm dancing through another day. Clear I synthesize with my heart is dancing through another day. Clear I synthesize with my heart is dancing through another day. Clear I synthesize with my heart is full.
Yes. And being a teenager, you everything is magnified when you're a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
None of us can forget, because we were there once. Of course, I was not a 16-year-old girl like you, so you know that sometimes we know plenty. We both, my wife and I, work for schools, and so we went across.
Yeah.
We run across your age group all the time, and we see the drama and the fun and the
Mhm.
and the drama and the drama and the drama. So. And so you may have friends that are don't present themselves the same way you do, but you love them just the same, right? They have a different personality, and yeah. So you may see that you may see some of that angst as a character that maybe you can sort of assume the personality or the position of one of your friends, you know, that maybe has more angst than you do, you know, and you could sort of dwell on that, you know, and that's the fun thing about creating a song. Sometimes it doesn't always have to be about your own experience. You could sort of make up something too, based on what you see around the world.
Well, I feel like it definitely is truthful to me. I mean, I think even though I feel like in normal conversations, I don't seem as intense, perhaps, as maybe some of the pictures of me or my sisters. But you know, there are sides to every person. I have my my more serious and angsty moments, but generally speaking, I think when I'm talking to other people, I'm, you know, just like this.
As you build a fan base, you know, and more people are, you know, get to know you and know who you are, you know, through what they see through the screen, and, you know, and maybe meeting you someday at a show or that kind of thing. I think they'll get to know how they can see that there's a whimsical side to you, and not everything's angst. I think the angst is part of what you like to do. I think you get that sort of serious side out of you, right?
Oh yeah, it's some variety.
It is, you know,
all sides of my personality.
both those two songs you did kind of sound so serious, and you know, about coping and dealing with whatever's going on, but all set to a nice lighthearted arrangement. Right. And so that's fun. I like to do that too. I like to play with that two different emotions going at the same time, because that's what we all are.
I was gonna say that's great.
Sorry, I don't know why that's going on.
No, it's okay.
But let's see if I can hang up on it real quick.
It's all right. After my own technical difficulties, this is totally allowed.
I bought a new phone system, and now I don't know how to silence it. I swear I silenced it before we went on. It comes totally to life. So it sounds like, if you want to use a baking analogy, it sounds like when you were making that song that your dad had, like, he was the one that had the big bowl, and he had a bunch of ingredients ready to go, and he's saying that I have an idea of what we can make here. Mm-hmm. But what do you think, Wallace? And says, oh, and then you start contributing some things, right? And so that's kind of how the song came together with you guys, right?
And since my dad has so many songs that he has started writing, I feel like that's how a lot of them are starting right now, because, you know, we're getting through all these things that we've already started, and then, you know, I'm starting my own songs, and then we're eventually that bowl will become, I have a bowl, Dad, can you come?
Yeah.
You know, And, it varies between whatever we end up bringing to each other. But as of right now, he has a lot of great stuff that I'm like, please, if I can work on this with you, I would love to,
Yeah. No, that sounds great because, you could, it sounds like you had something good when the two of you came together and did something as father and daughter. That if it works, why mess with that? You got to try some more. You got to try it some more and some more, as long as he's willing to keep cranking out some more ideas or reach into his little box of ideas that he's already had, Are you still working on some other little ideas that he's worked on and that you might want to?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We've got several songs coming, and I also have a million voice memos in my own phone of songs that I've begun to write. I think that he has started that I've worked on with him are a little closer to being finished. So we're going to probably put those ones out. And then, some of them, each project is in a little bit of a different level of being finished. So we're just going to have to see what we can do with what we've got.
Yay. Voice memos. I love them. There's so many.
They're so funny.
The way, a lot of times you may go back and review them sometimes and go, oh, well, I guess I won't do anything with that one. But
yeah,
I still like this one. I'm going to keep that one. That's a double-edged situation.
You can find some awful ones and you can find some gems. You never know.
But the thing is, if you have all these ideas and you just keep on giving you must have lots and lots of these memos, right? And then you go like, well, now it's almost a burden. It's like, what do I do? How do I get rid of some of these? Because it's tough, But back in the day, we wouldn't have that stuff. I had a little tape recorder or a big tape recorder way back when, and that's how it used to be done. But even today's established artists who's been around for a while, they're telling me that's easy for them. They just speak it into their phone and they got it. It's make sure you back it up. You don't want to lose it if the phone dies on you or something. I think I might have asked you this already. Were you planning to make a video for this song too, Another Day?
Yes, we will be putting out a video for Another Day.
Okay, so count me in, and one of those people that is asking. First, you had that. So you gonna try to do something a little more elaborate, or are you gonna try to do something similar to the last one, where it's just not too complicated?
That will have to be a surprise. We're still working on it, so
I knew you would do that to me. Sounds great. So I just wanted to congratulate you. I think this is a nice piece of work. You did a very nice job on this song.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Like I said, I'm going to mark you down as I knew Wallis back when she was just starting out with her very first Christmas single. And I was just talking with an artist yesterday that I had on the show. And we were talking about, he'd written an original Christmas tune. And I complimented him on how to, it is. I've tried to do it too. I've come up with a couple of real good ones, but if you try to make like a whole album full of original material, it's tough because how many words how many synonyms are there for Christmas? You have Yuletide, or you just go the winter. There's after a while you feel like you're repeating yourself. You really have to be inspired to come up with something. It's actually, the idea could have been separate. You didn't even have to have it as a Christmas setting to have that kind of song, but I'm glad you did because good.
Thank you.
Good move doing that, because now you have something that you can pull out every year and everybody will love it. So, and go to, why don't you do the honors, since I've already spilled the beans on how to get a hold of you on the line. How do people find Wallis Schrijver, or Wallis, which is WALLIS? How do you find yourself?
Well, you can follow me on Spotify, which I'm pretty sure if you just look up Wallis, WALLIS, it should come up. Another Day and Lonely Christmas are my singles, so if that helps to help you find me. And then my website is iamwallis.com. And then my Instagram handle is currently at I_am_Wallis. That might change to just Wallis, but for now, that's what it is.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure those are all the big ones. Yeah.
Pretty close, because if you do a search, just make sure you're looking at the right picture. You see this this lovely young girl here, and not some old woman or old man. That's what you'll find most of the time when you do the Wallis search. You'll find somebody else who's much older than you are and probably not alive anymore. So you got to look for I Am Wallis. Yeah, that's right. So Yeah, I hate to cut this short, but it's been a lot of fun talking with you again. And, say hi to Dad, and my compliments to your sisters. You both sound, all three of you sound really, really great on this record. And
thank you so much.
I'm looking forward to more. And once again, congratulations to Mom. She's she's the biggest, she is the brightest star in the family, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. And we don't even get to see her. So give her my compliments, please.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay, WALLIS Schriver, otherwise known as one name, WALLIS. Thank you very much for coming on the show, and blessings on you. I wish you all the success and hope to talk again. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much, Dean.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye.